I'm Terry Newman, senior editor and columnist at National Post, and I have Michael Higgins here to talk with me today about the events at Rideau Hall this morning.
Good morning, Terry.
So, Michael, what just happened today?
Well, the Prime Minister came down the steps of Rideau Cottage and announced that he was stepping down as Prime Minister and Liberal leader. But he's not going to do that immediately. What's more important, I think, is that he's prorogued Parliament until March 24, which basically means that the business of Parliament is now sidelined until March 24. And as we know, Donald Trump has threatened on the first day of office to impose 25% tariffs on Canada. And that would be devastating. If that happens, we'd be in a recession very shortly. Consumers would be hit on everything from loaves of bread to medicine. Some people have estimated 1.5 million jobs would go. So all that could be happening while the Liberals have just decided, well, we're going to have a leadership race. And then after that, we'll probably have an election. It just seems very arrogant thing to do right now at this very moment when it's so critical.
Yeah, especially because it means, in essence, he is still sitting as Prime Minister up until that point, and he is not very popular with Donald Trump. So.
No, I mean, so you've got this position where you've got a not very popular Prime Minister with Donald Trump, but he's also a lame duck Prime Minister. He's constitutionally wounded. He's been rejected by his own party. I mean, this is not the kind of negotiator you want going into Donald Trump.
No, absolutely not. Who do you think is likely to replace Trudeau? I know he said that he's going to have a nationwide competition. Now, we know sometimes parties do this. They try to put forward their favorites in certain areas. And this is not just a Liberal Party thing. But how likely do you think this is actually going to be a nationwide competition?
Yeah, I think, Christy Clark, of course, the BC Premier, might put her name forward, which would make it a nationwide competition. But, I mean, you know, we've heard the names before, and I think these are going to be the big ones. We've got Dominic LeBlanc, the newly minted finance minister. Obviously, I think he's going to be a contender. Champagne, the industry minister, has always put his foot. And then there's Chrystia Freeland, right? You know, she has said she's staying around. She got a standing ovation at the caucus meeting in December. So I think she's going to be another candidate. But the question is, who's going to want this job? Who wants a job when there's going to be an election? Parliament's prorogued till the 24th. It comes back. Say there's a no confidence vote thereafter. We go into an election. So we go into an election in April. Possibly beginning with voting in the beginning of May. Whoever stands as the Liberal candidate leader is going to get wiped out. I mean, the current numbers have them at only winning 6 seats from 154 or something now. Even with the new leader, they're going to get decimated. So who wants that job? You know, their task is going to be rebuilding from the bottom up. They get a chance to remake it in their own image, as it were, with their own acolytes and the people they want. But even so, they are facing long years in the wilderness. Would Chrystia Freeland want that? I'm not sure she would. Would Mark Carney want that? You know, it's not a very nice job right now, but people will still want it.
Yeah, it's definitely a thankless job to inherit a house that's on fire. Interestingly, I noted a reporter hollering out to Justin Trudeau as he was heading back up the steps of Rideau Hall. Why didn't you do this sooner? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And I suppose that's the question on everyone's minds. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah. You know, there's no good time to do this. Now is a particularly bad time, but he did have a chance when Freeland resigned on December 16th to reflect and say, you know what, I could quit now. He could quit. He could actually have gone to the Speaker. The government could go to the Speaker and ask for Parliament to be reconvened. Remember, Pierre Poilievre said he was going to ask the GG to do that. That's not her role. But Parliament could have been reconvened by the government going. So we could have had a reconvention of Parliament in December, then got the non-confidence vote. We could have been in an election right now. We could have had a new Prime Minister by the end of January, beginning of February. It would have put Canada in a stronger position. That's a possibility, but he chose not to. But I would say the writing was on the wall for a long time, right? We didn't have to wait till Chrystia Freeland resigned. We didn't have to wait till Donald Trump. Trudeau could have said a long time ago, look, you know what, I've got this supply and confidence agreement that Jagmeet Singh's keeping me in power. He's just thrown there up. Jagmeet Singh's got a lot to answer for in this parliament. So Trudeau could have quit earlier, given the chance, a new Liberal leader a chance to get his feet under the table, to be recognised by Canadians, so that when trouble did hit, we had a recognisable Liberal leader who could A, face Donald Trump, and B, could face the electorate with a chance of getting some name recognition so that they weren't as decimated as they could have been. But Trudeau has dragged it out all the way to where we are now, and it's just the most critical of time, the worst of times, and Trudeau has a lot of water to carry for that.
Yeah, it looks like a largely irresponsible action right now, and it's not clear who exactly is running government right now.
Well, no one. It's not Parliament. It's Trudeau, the guy who's just stepped down. I mean,
yeah, and it's been clear for a while. They've had such a minority, nothing could get done. So,
yeah. Coming back to Jagmeet Singh, he does carry a lot of water in this as well, because he has been propping the government up, and then after writing off the supply and confidence agreement, he's been talking out of both sides of his mouth, it's a terrible government, it's a terrible prime minister, but refusing to vote them down when the non-confidence motions were put forward. If he'd voted for them, the position would have been different. We might have a new prime minister right now.
Yeah, exactly. So before we go, first of all, thanks for joining us to weigh in on this stuff. Any predictions on who might be the next Liberal leader?
You know what? I'm going to go for Chrystia. I'm going to go for Chrystia Freeland. I think she'll put a name forward. I think a lot of people within the Liberal caucus like her. I don't think she's liked by the electorate. I think she's too tied to Trudeau with his policies, with the economy. But maybe she is the kind of person they need right now, and that she can do some of the rebuilding until, again, further down the line, before the next election, a new Liberal leader could come in, perhaps, with a reinvigorated party.
Right. So probably Chrystia probably won't make much of a difference.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for joining us, Michael, and thanks to viewers for watching.
Terry, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.